So I'm Sean Fortier, and I am the Associate Dean of the College of Aviation and Aeronautical Science. I've had the blessing of being at LeTourneau 26 years now. It's pretty incredible how God works to bring people to LeTourneau, and including myself. When I went to school, I graduated from Moody Bible Institute in their aviation program. At first was planning on being a pilot. After I got to see a little bit of that in action, I realized that flying for me could get to be a little bit of a glorified taxi cab driver. So God directed me into the avionics aspect of aviation, which is repairing and working with the electronics of the aircraft radios. And it's been a pretty incredible trip. I was working there at LeTourneau, or I was graduated from Moody. I taught a summer class there, and at that time my wife and we moved to California to work with Mission Aviation Fellowship. That's the whole reason I went to Moody, was to go on the mission field and share the love of Christ through the use of aircraft and technology. We went to California. The job I had was not really working with MAF, but a subsidy of theirs, which was a paid organization. As such, they had to make money, and after I'd been there a couple of months, they decided it wasn't worth having that organization, that subsidy around. So they began closing it up. But I had to work work with the avionics department because we had a contract with the Highway Patrol department, and I knew that was going to go for another year. I went through the application process with MAF, and it didn't go like I was hoping it would. My wife and they said, well, you probably need to spend a few years working before you come back with us. So we're cruising along, trying to finish out the California Highway Patrol contract. I was starting to look for places, but I expected my job to go into January. I got back from a Thanksgiving break, and the head of that subsidiary came to me and said, you know what, Sean, things were a little bit slow around here. Friday will be your last day. I'm like, Friday? That concerned me a little bit. I had a wife and a little girl at home, and so really started looking hard that week. It came to Wednesday, and one of the recruiters with MAF came over and said, Sean, now you've taught a little bit in electricity, right? And I said, yes, I did. I taught with Moody Bible Institute's program in their DC electricity class just before I left there. And he goes, well, LeTourneau just had one of its faculty members pass away who was teaching in electricity. Would you be interested in a position like that? And I said, well, I don't know. So I called and talked to two faculty members. Well, actually, they were administration members in the College of Aviation at that time, Lauren Bidekoffer and Fred Ritchie. They both liked my background and what I had to say, so they asked if I would be interested in coming to campus for an interview. I came out, it was right at the beginning of Christmas break. The faculty had actually just got done with the fall graduation, and they actually, we had a breakfast. The faculty talked with me, and then they left for all four corners of the country on their Christmas break. I talked to the president of the university at that time, and I was offered a position here for the next semester in the spring. I went home. We had a Christmas where we opened up boxes, then stuffed them all that in other boxes. I picked up the truck to move on the 26th of December, loaded on the 27th, headed out on the 28th, pulled into Longview on January 1st, 1994, and started teaching on the 12th in the College of Aviation. And so, like I said, that was 26 years ago, which is a huge, God's blessed me ever since. I've stayed here because I think there is huge value in Christian education. It's incredible to see my alumni go out and impact the world, be it doing mission work, doing flying for airlines, doing maintenance work around the globe. We have a saying in the College of Aviation, the sunset never sets on LeTourneau University's College of Aviation, because we literally have people around the globe serving Him both in missions and in the corporate and commercial world. And it's exciting to have a part in that. We believe in academic excellence in the College of Aviation. We want our students to go out and be able to have the skills to do the work to an excellent level. At the same time, we know there's much more to the education of the person than just academics. So my goal is to educate the whole person, the spiritual aspect of the person, the emotional aspect of the person, as well as the academic aspect of the person. And that has turned rewards over and over again as we see people come back and say, you know, you taught me academically excellence, but I have a solid family life now. I get to impact people for Christ now. An example of this would be on a trip I was taking out of the state. I was sitting in the Dallas-Fort Worth airport one time, and I'm working on my computer there waiting for my flight, and I hear somebody talking about church history up at the desk where you board your flight. And one of the pilots was talking to the ticket agent and the flight attendant about some things that went on in church history and what a blessing it was. And I look up, and it's one of our alumni teaching about the Word of God and how the gospel has changed the world through Jesus Christ. And I was very proud at that moment to be a faculty member at LeTourneau. Right now, we are making some pretty important changes in our department and in the College of Aviation. We have gone to looking at more of a tiered educational system where students can come to LeTourneau, they can get a certificate that they can go out and start working after 2.5 years. Then they can actually spend another semester doing work online while they're doing a job and get an associate degree. And if they spend another 2 or 3 semesters, they can actually get their Bachelor of Science degree. And so as we're working through that process, I really believe that is where education is going. And that is going to help more people be able to come to LeTourneau, get the training they need, both the hands-on, the spiritual and emotional training they need to go out and impact the world for Christ. The students we see at LeTourneau are top-notch. They are some of the cream of the crop. And they're not finished, they're not formed completely yet, but when they come, they have a desire to learn, they just have a desire to grow, and that has been a huge blessing to be able to teach and interact with these students. After 4 years, a lot of times it's hard to see them go as alumni. Just like a parent, it's hard to see your children leave the nest and move on. It's that way with our students a lot of times. We're excited when they move on, but it leaves a little bit of a hole in your heart because you built such a solid relationship with them. And it's not just myself, but it's all our faculty. I work with some incredible faculty and staff, and you can tell that a lot of them have many years of experience. We just had Lauren Bidekoffer retire, and he had 41 years of teaching at LeTourneau University, investing his life into the lives of students.